So my journey to LeTourneau might be a little more unique than others. I was getting ready to graduate from Auburn University with my PhD in computer science. My wife and I had been praying to see, where would God have us go, because my focus was I wanted to teach. I had actually had offered to go to a university where there's research and whatnot, but I knew that's not what God had meant for me to do. And so we'd been on some different interviews and whatnot, and we knew it wasn't what God wanted. So I'm about to leave Auburn, and they cut their email off pretty quick. So I'm like, I better clean up my email, make sure we're going. So I'm going through my email, and I see an email from a good friend of mine, Jay Tevis, who was teaching here at LeTourneau. And I'm like, it's been 4 months since he'd sent the email. And I'm, oh my gosh. So I hurry up and shoot him an email. Oh, Jay, sorry, it's just been so busy. I'll get in touch with you and we'll talk about it. Send the email off. 15 minutes later, he responds back to me and says, hey, have you accepted a teaching position yet? And I'm like, no. He said, well, consider this. We just had somebody resign from the computer science department because he got his dream job and he just couldn't pass it up. This is in the middle of July. And so now they don't have anybody for the fall. He said, pray about it, see what you think. So I felt pretty good about it. I filled out an application. They got back with me and they're like, well, we might have to do this a little faster than normal. And so they brought my wife and I on campus, and as soon as we drove on campus, we knew that this is where God wanted us. And it was so fun because all the pressure was off then, because once we knew God wanted us to do it, then it's like, all right, and we just go through the process. And getting to meet everybody. And the thing that really sold me on LeTourneau was that everywhere I went, every meeting I went, I got to give my testimony. And it was obvious that was so important. And that really meant a lot to me, because I'd been around some other universities that had Christian, but that was about it. It was in the name, but they didn't live it. And so I was like, wow, this place really, really lives it. So we're going through the interviews, and then I had a meeting with all the deans. And Fred Ritchie, I love that man, because they're asking me questions and everything. And then he asked me, he said, do you have any questions for them? And I said, well, if I were you, I would have asked you, how do I feel about teaching upper level classes? And he didn't miss a beat. He looks at me and he goes, I do have one more question. How would you feel about teaching upper level classes? And then I'm like, not only is the Christian aspect there, but these people are pretty neat. They're pretty real, they're fun and whatnot. And so I did a part where you could do actually teaching, and again, got to meet more faculty and whatnot. And so my wife and I pulled into Longview, Texas, 5 days before school started. No place to live. And we're just like, all right, God, you open the door, you're going to provide. We were looking around. Long story short, this one young lady said, just drive around the neighborhood and you'll see a sign, house for rent and different things. We're looking around, nothing. And my wife's like, we need to pray. So I pull over to the curb, we pray, we literally turn the corner and there's a sign, house for rent. And so they had the little tube with papers and everything, and we're like, hey, go get one of those papers. And somebody else pulled up and we're like, oh no, somebody else is looking at this place. No, it was the landlord. We got to talk to him, everything. We moved in the next morning. And that's just how God did to be able to bring us to LeTourneau, get us established. And it's just been so fun to start to get involved in the students' lives. And one of the things that I really have loved is that the very first semester, Bill Glass Prison Ministries spoke at chapel. and we got to actually have lunch. And that started with me going on the prison ministries. I always tell people, yeah, I've been to prison 9 times now, and they kind of look at you, go, prison ministry. But it's a way that I've actually got to know the students outside of the classroom. And that's the other thing I love about LeTourneau is there's opportunities where we get to be involved in the students' lives other than academic-wise. The other thing that I really enjoy here is that because of the class size and whatnot, the students feel that they can come and talk to us. And I would say 25% of our students that come to my office is non-academic. They having a struggle here or need prayer for this or have questions about God. And we have the freedom to, spend time with them. And, you're walking across campus and here's this faculty member praying with a student, or faculty are praying with faculty or staff or whatever, and the aspect that the Christianity is real here is, I think, one of the strongest points, because there's great computer science programs. I know I still have very good friends back in Auburn University. They have a great program, but they don't have this Christian aspect to where they are teaching young men and women to be able to do the computer science part, but also go and take Christ into the workplace. Because a lot of the friends that I have that are still in the computer science profession, a lot of them have this idea, I'm too smart for God. I don't need God. I'm smart enough. My intelligence level is up here. I don't need God. But what they really need is young men and women to go into that field and take Christ in there and be able to really show, there's a difference. And I work with my students in the classes to be able to not only to think and do programming and how to do the computer science aspect, but how to live that life, to present Christ in there and to let them see the importance of it. One of the things with our new cybersecurity program is that companies are already talking with us because they know that, one, we're truly Christian, and that means a good moral standard, good ethics. And what do you want with cybersecurity? You want somebody you can trust, somebody that you can actually, that's going to not turn into a bad guy themselves. And so that's fun, and to see these young people really getting excited about that program. And one of the really neat things is we just got a new cybersecurity lab, and it's like state of the art. And it's so fun to take people down there and show them, because they're like, wow. And like one of the gentlemen that's involved in it said, there's not going to be a better lab out there. There might be one that might be as good a quality, but not one that's better. And, it just really stepped LeTourneau into a different level as far as what we can utilize and what we can present to the students, because we're very hands-on. And that probably would be one of the things that I'd really want to also stress. We're very applied oriented here. We're going to have the students do programming. We're going to have them learning how to think, how to really get into this. Right now, I'm working with 2 teams that are in our Software Engineering 2 class, where they actually take on a project and go through the total design steps and everything, and to see them go, whoa, is this what real life's going to be about? And say, yeah, this is how it really plays out. And they're learning so much, but it's because it's very applied, very hands-on. Some of the teams are actually working for people in the community, doing real applications and whatnot, and just getting real experience. And the other thing that really is fun is our connection with industry. We're connected with Garmin and Rockwell Collins and Lockheed Martin. We've got people that have gone to Google and to Microsoft, but then also we've got connections with more smaller companies. And again, they love our students because they know that they're coming out of university that, we have a lot of rigor here. We expect a lot from our students, but they meet the expectations, and these companies know that when they hire them, they're going to get somebody that they're not going to have to spend hours and hours of training. Pretty much they can hit the ground running and really be able to get in and be a valuable part of the team. So now they're offering a lot of internships to our students. Garmin is one of our biggest ones. They've really learned the quality of students that come from LeTourneau, and they really want our students, so they actually make sure they come on campus and have a good presence and are talking with our students. We also have some ministries that their ministry is technology to missionaries and other ministry groups. And of course, they love to come and talk with our students and be able to present opportunities, internship and full-time positions. So, what's LeTourneau? LeTourneau is definitely Christian-based. It's definitely a Christian university that's going to present Christ and give that opportunity to students, give them an opportunity to take ownership of their relationship with Christ. But then also, it is a high-quality program that in any company would love to have our students. And like I say, we've got the biggies, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, but then smaller companies are wanting them because they know that they're going to fit into the team. Computer programming and computer science is getting to be very team-oriented, so having somebody that can work well with others is so important. And our students have learned that, how to work with others, how to, manage programs and projects and whatnot. So, LeTourneau really does have the full package, and it's just a joy to be able to talk to students that are coming and looking at LeTourneau and sharing what we got to offer, because I just see it continue to grow and becoming even better.